Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise, and this week, my favorite actor segment is an actress that was the epitome of Hollywood glam back in the day. I'm going all the way back to the beautiful Ms. Lana Turner. And if you've never seen a Lana Turner movie, the two movies that I have chosen for you to take a peek at are Imitation of Life and Madam X. So this week, my favorite actor is Lana Turner. All right, I'm going to jump right into my review for this week. The name of this movie is called Heretic. It stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. Those are the principal characters in this movie. Wow, where do I begin? Okay, this movie is about two Mormon missionaries who are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the door of a gentleman by the name of Mr. Reed, and how this simple act of knocking on a door and asking if you believe in God turns diabolical is just was kind of weird to watch. So when the movie starts, the two young girls or young ladies are, talking about discussing their agenda, for the day, kind of, just chit-chatting about, life in general and so forth. But, they're checking their agenda, making sure that they have, gone to visit people that apparently have requested that missionaries come and talk to them, because they've got kind of like a list. They know where they're going. They know who they're going to see. So the two of them are in Oregon. This takes place in Oregon, and they are riding their bikes, and they get to Mr. Reed's house, who is played by Hugh Grant. And I'm telling you, as soon as I saw the house, I was like, y'all might want to turn around and go back to headquarters and hit the next house. Just the house itself, where it's located, off the beaten path, and just sitting there by itself, looking spooky and haunted. So they, go to the door, and they knock on the door. And as they're waiting for this gentleman to answer the door, they hear noises inside the house, kind of like, that kind of make them think, what's going on? You knock on the door, you answer it. What's the problem? So it begins to rain. He answers the door, hey, we are the, missionaries. They go through their spiel, and he invites them in. They come in, and then once they get in, I'm looking at the house. Now, if the decor is giving me the creeps, and I'm not even, a visitor. So I'm kind of creeped out right there. So they go in, they sit down, they state their case, why we're here. Do you believe in God? Blah, 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 blah. He offers them something to drink, some refreshments, as well as a blueberry pie that his wife has just baked. Okay. So right there, I'm just feeling kind of creepy, but they sit there, and this is their job. This is what they're supposed to do. Now, the one request that they do make is your wife home? We have to have a female present when we are, going over our agenda, and we're talking with you. And he obliges, kind of, sorta, but wife never shows up. And then that's when things really kind of get kind of weird, as if they weren't already. So the entire day that these two young ladies are in this creepy house with this creepy man who is charmingly creepy. And so, Hugh Grant was very good in this role. I've never seen him in a role quite like this before. He never, threatened the young ladies. He never made any type of advances towards them. They're just having conversation. And it's engaging enough to kind of sidetrack the young ladies, and at which point they kind of have to bring him back to the reason that we're here is we're talking about this. And so, one thing leads to another, and they end up in his home after they realize something is weird, we need to leave, and they realize that they can't get out. And so they are looking for him in the house. He has, kind of left the room to go find his wife. And they end up in a different room of the house where he reappears. And then the cat and mouse, let me test your faith. What do you really believe in? Dialogue really, really gets deep. And so they're stuck there. They can't go anywhere because, he is now questioning their faith, which makes them question their faith. And he's throwing out all of these theories and all of these ideas and things that they should be thinking about. And so they counter him. So there's this back and forth. And then there is a decision to be made where he is asking them, do you believe or do you not believe? Make a choice and then see what happens after that. That is basically the movie. These young ladies are stuck in this man's house. They go through different doors and they end up in different rooms, and they go downstairs and around corners and down more stairs and in cellars. And, it just becomes weird and weird and more weird. If you are a person who is, deep in your faith, and nothing anybody says can turn you around, you might not be interested in this movie. It might not be the one for you. But if you are someone who is open to new ideas or thoughts, or maybe you have questions and you're interested in a healthy dialogue, you might want to check this one out just to see how it progresses. Now, it's kind of like a mystery or psychological thriller, suspense. There is blood, there is gore, because the situation really gets bleak for the two young ladies as the movie moves on. So I'm going to give the movie, I'm going to give it a strong 6-ish, because actually, like I said before, Hugh Grant was really, really good in this movie. So if you're having a religious conversation back and forth, he made some good points that would make one think about where they stand on the, religious spectrum. And the two young ladies had really good chemistry. One was a little bit more naive than the other, which was a good balance. She was naive and kind of, a happy-go-lucky type of person who's like, hey, everything's going to be okay. Where the other young lady was like, well, wait a minute. I've got questions. I'm going to, again, counter what he is saying and what he wants us to believe. And she was a little bit more assertive. But the two of them played off of each other very well. So there you go. Heretic, if you want to see something just a little different and as far as Hugh Grant is concerned, you can check it out. All right, folks, I'm going to jump into my Nailed It for this week. And my Nailed It for this week is Matthew McConaughey from the movie A Time to Kill. And the scene that I chose for my Nailed It is the closing statement. Of course, he was the defense lawyer for Samuel L. Jackson's character. And when he gave that final statement and asked the jury to close their eyes as he recounted the events that led up to the young girl's, rape and abuse and so forth, and asked them to close their eyes, and you can see them thinking and listening to him intently, and then he comes in with the dagger. Now, think of her as white. And then everybody is like blown away. I remember when I saw that scene in the movie, I was blown away because I wasn't quite sure what he was getting at. But fantastic scene. You might want to roll that one back. Matthew McConaughey, A Time to Kill, the closing statement. My Nailed It for this week. All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, "Have you seen it?" with Denise, and there I will be. All right, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Until next week, bye-bye.